On certain nights at Hogwarts, when the Great Hall has long since emptied and the last echoes of laughter have faded into the stone, the castle feels especially old and especially gentle. The enchanted ceiling above the house tables dims into a deep velvet sky, stars drifting slowly as though even they have grown sleepy. Candles float lower than usual, their flames steady and warm, casting soft pools of golden light across the floor. This is one of those nights. Tonight's story is about the forgotten passage beneath the Great Hall, a quiet legend whispered not in books or lessons, but in the hush that settles after midnight. It is not a tale of danger or daring escapes, but of patience, memory, and a kind of magic that prefers to remain unnoticed. A passage that does not open for curiosity alone, but for calm hearts and unhurried footsteps. The Great Hall rests peacefully now. Long wooden tables stand empty, their polished surfaces reflecting candlelight like still water. High above, the banners of the 4 houses hang motionless, their colors softened by shadow. The vast room breathes slowly, as if the castle itself is resting after a long day of teaching and listening. Somewhere beyond the walls, the Black Lake lies quiet, and the grounds are wrapped in moonlight. Even the staircases seem content to stay where they are, allowing the night to remain undisturbed. As you settle into this story, imagine yourself here, standing at the edge of the Great Hall long after everyone else has gone. There is no rush, nothing calling for attention, only the gentle awareness that Hogwarts holds more than what is usually seen in daylight. This story will unfold slowly, like a secret remembered rather than discovered. There will be mystery, yes, but the kind that soothes instead of startles, the kind that invites you to lean closer, breathe deeper, and let your thoughts grow quiet. If you enjoy gentle Hogwarts bedtime stories like this one, you're warmly invited to like the video, subscribe, and explore more calming journeys through the wizarding world. But for now, there is nothing you need to do. The castle is patient, and the night is kind. Take a slow breath. Let the candlelight soften in your mind. And as the Great Hall settles into stillness above, allow yourself to drift gently toward a hidden place below, where a forgotten passage waits, not to be found, but to be remembered. Harry notices the quiet first, not as silence, but as a change in how sound behaves around him. Footsteps soften, breaths seem slower. The Great Hall, so vast and lively by day, feels intimate now, as though it has drawn its long tables and high ceiling closer to listen. He stands near the edge of the room, hands loosely at his sides, feeling unhurried in a way that still surprises him. Nights like this are rare, nights when he is not pulled by plans or worry, when the castle feels less like a maze and more like a home. Harry has learned over time to trust these moments. Hogwarts often reveals its gentlest secrets when no one is looking for them. Hermione Granger is beside him, her posture relaxed, a book tucked under her arm, but unopened. She has that thoughtful calm in her expression, the look she wears when she is not gathering facts, but letting ideas breathe. Her curiosity is still there, bright and steady, yet softened by the understanding that not every mystery needs to be solved at once. It's different at night, she murmurs, eyes lifting to the enchanted ceiling. The hall feels older, like it remembers more. Harry nods. He understands what she means. Some places don't change, they deepen. Ron Weasley joins them, stifling a yawn with a grin that carries no apology. His shoulders are loose, his steps easy. Ron has always had a talent for sensing when effort isn't required, and tonight he seems content to simply be here, present, comfortable, quietly amused by the stillness. "Reckon it's the best time to be anywhere," he says softly. "No homework, no crowds, just us and the castle." The three of them stand together without needing to speak much. Years of shared experiences have shaped a quiet understanding between them, one that doesn't depend on urgency or danger to feel strong. There is warmth in their closeness and an ease that feels earned. Harry glances around the hall, noticing details he usually misses, the way candlelight glides across the stone floor, the faint outline of carved patterns near the base of the walls, the sense that the room is holding something just beneath the surface. He feels no apprehension, only a gentle pull of curiosity. Hermione shifts her weight slightly, thoughtful. "Hogwarts has always had passages," she says, "not just corridors and staircases, places that connect, moments." Ron chuckles quietly. "You make it sound like the castle's thinking." "Maybe it is," Harry says, smiling. They share a brief, comfortable laugh, and the sound fades naturally into the stillness. None of them know yet that this calm companionship, this unguarded quiet, is exactly what the night has been waiting for. The forgotten passage beneath the great hall does not open for explorers or heroes. It opens for friends who walk without haste, who listen without expectation, and who are willing to let the castle lead them somewhere gentle. And tonight, these three are exactly where they need to be. The great hall settles further into itself as the night deepens, as though the castle has decided that nothing more needs to happen quickly. The candles drift lower, their flames smaller and steadier now, and the enchanted ceiling above mirrors a sky brushed with slow-moving clouds. Harry feels it again, that gentle sense of invitation, not pulling him forward, but quietly suggesting that staying still might be just as meaningful. They begin to walk, not toward the doors, but along the side of the hall where the stone walls curve inward slightly. Their footsteps echo softly, then seem to fade, absorbed by the age of the place. It feels as though the hall is listening, adjusting itself to their presence. Hermione slows first. "Do you feel that?" she asks, not alarmed, only curious. Ron shrugs lightly, but even he lowers his voice. "Like the floor's different?" Harry pauses, placing his foot back where he just stepped. He feels it too, a subtle change beneath his shoes. Not a dip or a slope, but something closer to a loosening, as though the stone is remembering how to move. The moment stretches without urgency. Then, very gently, a sound reaches them. It is not loud, not sharp. It is more like the sound of breath moving through a narrow space, a quiet, hollow sigh that seems to rise from below the floor itself. It carries no threat, no warning, only age. Harry crouches slightly, resting his hand against the stone. It is cool, but not cold. Beneath his palm, the faintest vibration hums, like a distant memory stirring. Hogwarts, Ron whispers, half to himself. You couldn't just let us have a normal walk, could you? Hermione smiles, but her eyes are bright. It's not doing anything wrong, she says gently. It's just responding. As if in agreement, the sound shifts. The sigh deepens, then fades, replaced by a soft clicking noise, like stone settling into a more comfortable position. The candlelight flickers, and for a brief moment, shadows stretch along the wall in unfamiliar shapes, arches where none should be, lines that hint at depth where there was once only flat stone. Harry stands slowly. His heart remains calm, steady. Whatever this is, it doesn't feel like danger. It feels like discovery. A thin seam appears along the base of the wall, no wider than a finger. It glows faintly, not with bright magic, but with something older, dimmer, like moonlight filtered through dust. The seam lengthens, tracing a shallow curve across the stone. Ron lets out a quiet breath. Blimey. The stone does not crack or break. It simply shifts. One slab eases backward with a patience that suggests it has been waiting a very long time to do so. The movement is soundless, smooth, respectful of the stillness around it. Behind it, darkness waits, but not the empty kind. This darkness has texture, depth. It feels layered, like pages pressed together. Hermione steps closer, peering inside. It's not a tunnel, she murmurs. It's a passage, one that's been folded away. Harry feels a gentle warmth brush past him, like air that has traveled far before finding release. It carries a faint scent of stone and something softer, old parchment perhaps, or the echo of footsteps long gone. They do not rush. The opening remains steady, patient, as though aware that this moment is fragile. Harry senses that the passage is not reacting to movement alone, but to presence, to the way they stand, unafraid, unhurried. Ron scratches the back of his neck. So, he says quietly, anyone else feel like this isn't the sort of thing we're meant to tell professors about? Hermione considers this, then nods slowly. Some things aren't meant to be cataloged. They're meant to be experienced. Harry smiles. That feels right. He steps forward first, not out of bravery, but because it feels natural to do so. The threshold is low, almost invisible, and as he crosses it, the air shifts around him. Not colder, not warmer, just quieter. The sounds of the great hall soften, as though wrapped in cloth. Inside, the passage is narrow, but not confining. The stone walls curve gently, worn smooth by time rather than use. Faint lines of magic run through the rock, glowing softly like veins beneath skin. They pulse slowly, in rhythm with the castle itself. Ron follows, glancing back once before the opening seals behind them, not abruptly, but with a gentle slide, leaving no trace of where it had been. The candlelight from the hall fades, replaced by a steady, ambient glow that seems to come from everywhere at once. Hermione exhales softly. This magic is different. Harry understands. It doesn't buzz or shimmer like spells they know. It doesn't demand attention. It simply exists, steady and reassuring, like a heartbeat. They walk slowly, their steps instinctively quiet. The passage slopes downward just enough to feel intentional, leading them beneath the great hall, not into darkness, but into depth. The air feels older here, carrying the weight of centuries without feeling heavy. As they move, the walls begin to change, not shape, but story. Carvings emerge from the stone, subtle and shallow, depicting scenes that feel half-remembered, students gathered in circles, founders walking side by side, moments of laughter and quiet resolve. None of the figures have faces, none need them. "This isn't just a passage," Hermione whispers. "It's a record." Ron's voice is hushed. "A memory." The carvings shift as they pass, responding to their presence. New details appear, small ones, a hand resting on a shoulder, a book being passed from one person to another, a moment of shared understanding frozen in stone. Harry feels something warm settle in his chest. This place isn't about secrets meant to be hidden forever. It's about moments meant to be held gently. Then, without warning, but also without shock, the passage changes direction. Not sharply, not suddenly, it simply opens. The walls widen slightly, revealing a low chamber no larger than a classroom storage room. The ceiling arches softly overhead, and at the center of the floor, a single stone tile rests apart from the others. It glows faintly, the same dim light as the seam that first appeared in the Great Hall. Hermione kneels beside it, brushing her fingers just above the surface without touching. "This is the anchor," she says quietly. "The reason the passage opened." Ron tilts his head. "Anchor for what?" Before she can answer, the tile responds. A soft vibration hums through the room, not strong enough to unsettle, but enough to be felt. The carvings along the walls brighten slightly, their lines sharpening. The air fills with a sound, not a voice, but something close, a resonance, layered with intention. Harry closes his eyes briefly, letting it wash over him. Images flicker at the edge of his thoughts, not visions, but impressions. The Great Hall as it once was. Builders laying stone with care. Founders standing beneath an unfinished ceiling, discussing not spells or defenses, but students. Growth. Time. This passage was never meant to be found by force. It was meant to open when the castle felt safe enough to remember. Harry opens his eyes. Ron is watching the carvings, his expression unusually thoughtful. Hermione's face is calm, her curiosity softened into respect. The stone tile dims again, its work complete for now. The chamber remains still, waiting. No alarms sound, no magic flares. The first twist is not a threat or a challenge. It is an invitation to listen, to walk gently, and to understand that Hogwarts has more than lessons to teach. And as they stand together in the quiet beneath the Great Hall, the passage seems to breathe, content at last to be seen. The chamber does not fade after the stone tile dims. Instead, it settles, like a thought reaching the end of a sentence and pausing there, complete but unhurried. The glow along the carvings softens until it becomes part of the stone itself, and the gentle resonance in the air slows, stretching into a quiet hum that feels almost like reassurance. Harry notices first that the air has changed again, not in temperature but in texture. It feels fuller, as though something unseen has stepped closer without making a sound. Hermione straightens slowly. "It's not finished," she says, not with urgency, but with certainty. Ron glances around, instinctively lowering his voice further, even though there is no one else to hear them. "You mean the passage?" "I mean the castle," Hermione replies. As if responding to her words, the carvings along the far wall begin to shift, not disappearing, but rearranging themselves. Stone lines soften, then reform, flowing like slow water, reshaping its path. Scenes that once showed gatherings and shared moments now stretch outward, becoming corridors, stairways, doorways that don't match any map Hermione has ever studied. Harry feels the shift before he sees it. The chamber seems to grow, not in size, but in depth. The walls feel farther away, as though the space between them has expanded without changing the stone. A faint breeze passes through, carrying with it something unexpected, warmth layered with emotion, comfort, relief, a quiet gratitude that doesn't belong to any one person. Ron swallows. "That's strange, but not bad strange." Harry nods. "It feels like being remembered." The stone beneath their feet responds. The central tile lifts slightly, no more than a hand's breadth, revealing not a hole, but a surface beneath, smooth, pale, etched with symbols so faint they seem almost imaginary. They are not runes in the traditional sense. There are no sharp edges, no commanding shapes. These markings curve gently, looping into one another like handwriting written by someone who never needed to rush. Hermione steps closer, careful not to touch. Her brow furrows, not in confusion, but in concentration. "This isn't a spell," she murmurs, "at least, not in the way we understand spells." The symbols pulse once, softly, and the air responds with a deeper hum. It resonates through the stone, through their shoes, through their bones. Harry feels it settle behind his ribs, steady and calm. Then, without warning, the chamber opens again, but not in the way passages usually do. The far wall does not slide or split. It thins. The stone becomes translucent, like fog held in shape, and through it another space appears. Not a tunnel, not a room, a memory. Harry steps back instinctively, breath catching, not from fear, but from recognition. He knows this sensation. He has felt it before, in the Pensieve, in moments when the past is not told, but lived. Ron's voice is barely more than a breath. "Are we seeing something?" "Yes," Hermione whispers, but not intruding. The translucent wall clarifies, revealing a wide, unfinished hall. The ceiling is lower, the stone rougher, the air filled with dust and echoing footsteps. Figures move within it, solid enough to feel present, yet indistinct, their faces softened by time. 4 figures stand near the center, their voices unheard, but their intent unmistakable. They gesture not with wands raised, but with open hands, pointing to stone, to space, to one another. They are not arguing, they are agreeing. Harry feels the moment rather than understands it. This is not a memory of power or protection. This is a memory of care. The figures move slowly, as if aware that time itself is watching. One places a hand against the stone floor, another nods, and together they step back, allowing something unseen to settle into place. The memory shifts. The translucent wall now shows students from different eras passing through the great hall above, laughing, studying, worrying, growing beneath their feet, unseen. The passage forms quietly, folding itself away, becoming part of the castle's foundation. Hermione exhales softly, eyes shining. This passage isn't hidden to protect something dangerous, she says. It's hidden to protect something gentle. This chamber responds to her words. The hum deepens, then spreads, and suddenly the memory expands, not outward, but inward. Harry feels it like a tide moving through his thoughts. Moments surface, not his own memories exactly, but impressions drawn from the castle itself. A student sitting alone after curfew, comforted by the quiet. Another finding peace in a forgotten corridor. Someone standing exactly where Harry stands now, long ago, feeling lost and then feeling held. Ron's shoulders loosen, his breath slowing. It's showing us everyone, he murmurs, not just the important ones. That's the point, Harry says gently. The translucent wall begins to fade, but not abruptly. The memory recedes like mist at dawn, leaving behind the familiar stone of the chamber. The symbols beneath the lifted tile glow once more, brighter this time, their lines gently rearranging. Hermione watches them with awe. I think this is the second layer, she says. The first was discovery. This is understanding. The tile lowers back into place, sealing seamlessly with the floor. The hum in the air softens, but does not disappear. Instead, it spreads, becoming part of the chamber itself, as natural as breath. Then comes the true twist, not dramatic, not sudden. The passage behind them reopens, but it does not lead back to the Great Hall. Instead, it reveals a corridor none of them recognize, arched, softly lit, lined with stone that feels warmer, smoother. The air carries the faintest trace of candle wax and old parchment, familiar and comforting. Ron frowns slightly. That's not where we came from. Hermione smiles, slow and thoughtful. It's where we're meant to go next. Harry feels no resistance in his chest, no warning tug of instinct, only calm. The castle is not testing them, it is guiding them. They step forward together, leaving the chamber behind. The passage closes gently, the memory sealed once more, not hidden, but resting. As they walk, the corridor subtly adjusts to them. The ceiling lifts slightly, the walls curve just enough to feel welcoming. The light remains steady, never too bright, never dim. Harry realizes then that the second magical event is not about revealing more. It is about trust. Hogwarts has shown them not only what lies beneath the Great Hall, but why it was placed there at all. Not to guard power, not to conceal danger, but to hold the quiet moments, the ones that shape people long after spells fade. And as the corridor carries them forward, deeper into the castle's gentle heart, Harry understands that this story is no longer about finding a forgotten passage. It is about walking with the castle as it remembers itself. The corridor welcomes them without ceremony. It does not announce itself as important, nor does it demand attention. It simply exists, stretching forward with a quiet certainty, its stone walls carrying the warmth of countless footsteps that have passed this way before, though none recently enough to be remembered. Harry walks at an unhurried pace, aware of Ron and Hermione beside him. Their presence steadies the moment, grounding the strange calm that seems to deepen with every step. The corridor curves gently, never revealing too much at once, as if it prefers patience over revelation. The light here is unlike torchlight or lumos. It glows softly from the stone itself, as though the walls have learned how to remember brightness long after the source has gone. Shadows form only faintly, blurring at the edges, leaving nothing sharp or threatening behind. Ron clears his throat quietly. "This place," he says, "feels like it knows when to stop talking." Hermione smiles at that, her fingers brushing lightly along the wall. "It's listening," she replies, not explaining. As if acknowledging the thought, the corridor widens just slightly. Alcoves appear along the sides, small shallow spaces carved into the stone, each holding something different. None are labeled, none are protected by glass or wards. They are simply there. Harry pauses at the first alcove. Inside rests an ordinary-looking bench, its wood worn smooth, the grain polished by time. He feels an unexpected tug of emotion, not sadness, not joy, but something gentler. The sense of someone having sat there often, perhaps to think, perhaps to wait. Hermione leans closer. "These aren't artifacts," she murmurs. "They're moments." The next alcove holds a single candle, unlit but whole, its wick untouched by flame. The air around it carries a faint warmth, as though it remembers being used to comfort rather than illuminate. Ron exhales slowly. "Blimey," he whispers. "This place isn't showing us things, it's showing us feelings." They move on, each step drawing them deeper into a suspense that does not rush, does not spike. It builds softly, like a question forming itself without needing to be answered immediately. The corridor slopes downward again, so gently they barely notice until Harry realizes his ears have adjusted, the pressure shifting just enough to feel intentional. The air grows quieter, not empty, but attentive. Then the sound begins. It is not footsteps, not voices. It is the faintest echo of movement above them, chairs scraping softly, pages turning, a distant murmur of conversation. The great hall, far overhead, going about its ordinary rhythms. Harry stops. The sound filters down through layers of stone, softened, slowed, as if passing through memory before reaching them. It doesn't intrude, it comforts. "They're above us," Ron says, unnecessarily but gently. "Everyone," Hermione nods, "and they have no idea." The realization settles without weight. The suspense here does not come from fear of discovery, but from the awareness of being part of something unseen. The passage does not hide them from the castle, it places them within it. As they walk on, the corridor begins to change again. The alcoves grow fewer, the walls smoother, the light dimming just slightly. Not enough to darken the way, only enough to invite closer attention. Harry notices then that the stone beneath their feet feels warmer, not heated, alive. Each step seems to awaken something subtle, a response that moves outward and ahead of them, as though the passage is adjusting in real time. A gentle hum returns, softer than before, threading itself through the air. It carries no melody, no rhythm that can be followed, only a steady reassurance that something is unfolding exactly as it should. Hermione slows, listening. It's like the castle is thinking. Ron grins faintly. Hope it's thinking nice thoughts. Harry smiles, but he understands. The suspense now lies in anticipation, not danger. The passage is leading them somewhere, and they are being given time to accept that truth. The corridor opens into a wider space, a long, low chamber that stretches ahead like a breath held and released. The ceiling arches gently, and along the floor, faint lines of light trace paths that do not quite touch one another. None of them speak at first. The chamber feels expectant, not impatient, but aware. The hum grows slightly stronger here, resonating through the floor and walls in a way that feels deliberate. Harry takes a step forward, and the nearest line of light brightens in response. When he stops, it steadies. Hermione's eyes widen with understanding. It's responding to choice, she says softly, not direction, intention. Ron shifts his weight experimentally, and another line glows beneath his feet. It does not pull him anywhere, it simply acknowledges him. So, he says, quietly, whatever happens next, we're part of it. Harry feels the truth of that settle in his chest. The gentle suspense is no longer about what the passage will reveal, but about how they will move within it. They stand there for a moment, breathing, allowing the chamber to adjust to them as much as they adjust to it. The lines of light pulse softly, not demanding movement, only offering possibility. Harry looks ahead. The far end of the chamber remains indistinct, veiled by a soft haze that does not obscure, only delays. The path forward exists, but it will not rush to meet them. The suspense deepens, not tightening, not pressing, but expanding. The story is no longer about discovering a hidden place. It is about walking gently enough to hear what the castle is ready to share next. And so, together, they take another step forward, slowly, calmly, letting the chamber guide them onward, one quiet moment at a time. The chamber does not rush them toward a decision. It waits, calm and open, its faint lines of light resting beneath their feet like patient questions. Harry senses that this place is less concerned with where they go and more interested in how they choose to move. He takes a slow breath and steps forward, not along the brightest line, but toward one that glows more softly, almost shyly. The stone responds with a gentle warmth, the hum in the chamber shifting in tone, acknowledging his choice without judgment. Hermione watches closely, her curiosity balanced by respect. "It's not guiding us," she says. "It's listening." Ron grins, though his voice stays low. About time, something did. They follow the subtle path Harry has chosen. It curves slightly to the left, leading them along the edge of the chamber where the walls rise higher and the light dims just enough to invite closer attention. The air here carries a faint scent of old wood and parchment, familiar and grounding. As they walk, the stone walls begin to change once more, not dramatically, but thoughtfully. Shallow niches appear at eye level, each revealing something small and unassuming: a folded scrap of parchment, a cracked ink bottle, a scarf draped over a stone hook. Harry pauses at the scarf. It is faded, its colors softened by time, but it radiates warmth. He doesn't touch it, yet he can almost feel the comfort it once offered. "This place," he says quietly, "isn't about what we do. It's about what we leave behind." Hermione nods. "And what stays with us?" They continue on, moving slowly, allowing each step to feel intentional. Ron lingers briefly at a niche holding a single chess piece, a knight, worn smooth. He smiles faintly, then moves on without comment. The path leads them toward a narrower section of the chamber where the ceiling lowers and the walls curve inward. The light here is dimmer, but steadier, and the hum becomes more focused, like a thought, drawing itself together. Harry feels a subtle shift within himself, not excitement, not fear, but clarity. This place is offering them something more than observation. It is asking for presence. They reach a point where the path splits, not physically, but perceptually. Two areas ahead feel distinct, though the stone looks the same. One carries a sense of familiarity, the comfort of memory revisited. The other feels open, uncertain, like something yet to be shaped. Ron glances between them. "Well," he says softly, "this feels like one of those moments." Hermione considers both, then looks to Harry. "There's no wrong choice," she says, "only different kinds of understanding." Harry listens, not just to her, but to the chamber, to the quiet within himself. He realizes that the suspense has softened into something more reflective. The castle is not testing their bravery or intelligence. It is asking them to notice themselves. "I think," he says slowly, "we should stay together." The chamber responds immediately. The sense of division dissolves, the two impressions blending into one steady path ahead. The light brightens just enough to affirm the choice. Ron exhales with relief. Good. Wasn't keen on splitting up anyway. They move forward as one, the path now clear in a way that feels earned rather than given. The walls smooth again, and the niches fade, replaced by long stretches of quiet stone that reflect the soft glow around them. As they walk, Harry becomes aware of how the passage reacts not only to movement, but to emotion. When Ron chuckles softly at a memory only he seems to recall, the hum lifts slightly. When Hermione's expression grows thoughtful, the light steadies, deepening in warmth. The exploration becomes less about discovering new spaces and more about noticing the interplay between themselves and the castle. Hogwarts is not showing them rooms or corridors now, it is reflecting them back to themselves. They reach a small, circular space at the end of the path. It is empty save for a low stone pedestal at its center. Nothing rests upon it. No object waits to be claimed. Harry understands immediately. It's not missing something, he says. It's complete. Hermione smiles. It's a place to pause. They stand there together, breathing slowly, letting the stillness settle. The pedestal does not glow or hum. It simply exists, steady and unremarkable, like a reminder that not every meaningful moment needs spectacle. After a while, Ron stretches lightly. "So," he says, "we keep going?" Harry looks around the circle, then back the way they came. The chamber feels content, as though it has shared what it intended to share. "Yes," Harry says gently, "but differently." As they turn to leave, the path behind them does not close. It remains open, unchanged, ready to be walked again, not necessarily by them, and not necessarily soon. The exploration has not given them answers in the usual sense. Instead, it has offered something quieter, the understanding that choices made with care leave lasting impressions, even when no one is watching. And as they step forward, carrying that understanding with them, the passage seems to settle into rest, its purpose fulfilled, its presence still felt, quietly waiting beneath the great hall above. The path forward feels different now, not narrower, not darker, but quieter in a way that draws attention inward. Harry senses that they are approaching the heart of the passage, not a place marked by stone or symbols, but by understanding. The castle's presence feels closer here, not looming, but attentive, like a gentle guardian watching without judgment. The corridor opens gradually, revealing a wide, circular chamber unlike any they have seen before. The ceiling rises high above them, lost in soft shadow, while the floor beneath their feet is smooth and warm, etched with barely visible patterns that seem to shift when viewed from the corner of the eye. There are no torches, no candles, yet the space is filled with a calm, even light, as though the chamber itself remembers how to be illuminated. At the center stands nothing at all, no pedestal, no artifact, no door. Ron lets out a slow breath. "So, that's it?" Hermione doesn't answer right away. She turns slowly, taking in the entire chamber, her expression thoughtful rather than disappointed. "I don't think we were meant to find something," she says. "I think we were meant to realize something." Harry steps closer to the center of the room. As he does, the faint patterns on the floor grow clearer, not brighter, but more present. They form overlapping circles, lines that cross and reconnect, never breaking, never ending. He feels a quiet recognition stir within him. "This place," he says softly, "isn't hidden because it's dangerous. It's hidden because it's personal." The chamber responds, not with sound or motion, but with feeling. The air grows warmer, carrying with it a sense of deep reassurance. Harry feels memories brushing past his thoughts, not images, but emotions. Loneliness eased by companionship, fear softened by trust, moments of stillness that mattered more than moments of triumph. Hermione's voice is steady, almost reverent. Hogwarts teaches spells, yes, but it also teaches people how to become themselves. This passage, it holds all the quiet moments where that happens. Ron scratches his head, then nods slowly. The bits no one claps for. Harry smiles faintly. The bits that last. As if acknowledging their words, the patterns on the floor begin to move, not shifting position, but revealing depth. The lines seem to sink slightly, creating the impression of layers beneath the stone, each one carrying its own quiet story. Harry senses that beneath this chamber lie countless moments, stacked gently upon one another, each one preserved not in memory alone, but in feeling. The realization settles fully now. This passage was never meant to be walked often. It was never meant to be mapped or studied. It exists as a reminder, a quiet anchor beneath the Great Hall, holding the unseen experiences that shape every student who passes above it. Hermione closes her eyes briefly, as if listening inwardly. It's the castle's way of remembering everyone, she says. Not just the brave ones, not just the clever ones, everyone who ever needed a place to feel safe. Ron's usual humor softens into something more sincere. Guess that means it remembers us too. Harry feels the truth of that wrap around him like a warm cloak. For so long, he has been defined by moments of noise, battles, expectations, names spoken too loudly. Standing here, he realizes that the castle has always known another version of him too. The boy who found comfort in quiet corners, who listened when others spoke, who learned as much from silence as from spells. The chamber does not demand acknowledgement. It simply holds the moment, allowing them to reach the insight in their own time. Finally, the air shifts again, not signaling an ending, but a gentle completion. The warmth steadies, the patterns on the floor soften back into stillness, and the sense of presence eases just enough to suggest that the passage has shared what it needed to share. Hermione opens her eyes, smiling softly. I think we understand now. Ron nods. Yeah, and I reckon that's enough. Harry looks around the chamber one last time, committing the feeling, not the image, to memory. He knows this place will not remain vivid in his mind in the usual way. That is not its purpose. Instead, it will linger as a quiet certainty, a reassurance that when the world feels loud, there is always something steady beneath it. As they turn to leave, the chamber does not close behind them. It remains exactly as it is, unchanged, patient, complete. The castle does not need them to remember every detail. It only needs them to carry the understanding forward. The climax of their journey is not a discovery made, but a truth recognized, that the most powerful magic Hogwarts holds is not hidden in towers or vaults, but in the quiet spaces where people learn who they are, unseen, uncelebrated, and deeply remembered. And with that insight resting gently within them, they step onward, ready to return to the world above, with lighter hearts and quieter minds. As Harry, Hermione, and Ron walk back along the quiet corridor, the light softens with every step, dimming not into darkness, but into a familiar dusk-like glow. The hum that once surrounded them fades gradually, becoming less a sound and more a sensation, a steady calm that lingers even as the space begins to feel less alive. The walls smooth themselves into stillness, the niches, the faint lines of light, the subtle warmth beneath their feet all recede gently, like a dream settling back into sleep. Nothing closes sharply, nothing vanishes abruptly. The castle simply returns to itself. They walk side by side, their steps slow and unforced. No one feels the need to speak. The silence between them is comfortable, filled with understanding rather than questions. Harry breathes deeply, aware of how light his chest feels now. The weight he often carries, expectation, memory, vigilance, has loosened. Not gone, but softened, as though the castle has reminded him that he is allowed moments of rest. Hermione walks with her hands loosely clasped, her gaze thoughtful but peaceful. She does not reach for her book. For once, knowledge does not need to be written down to be held. Ron yawns quietly, unashamed, his earlier tension completely gone. Best secret passage we've ever found, he murmurs. Didn't even have to run from anything. Harry smiles, the sound barely more than a breath. That might be the point. Ahead, the corridor begins to curve upward, the slope gentle and reassuring. The air grows slightly cooler, more familiar. Harry recognizes the shift. The passage is guiding them back, not because they must leave, but because they are ready to. As they near the end, the stone changes subtly, becoming rougher, more recognizably Hogwarts. The glow fades into the kind of shadow cast by ordinary torchlight. The hum disappears entirely, leaving behind only the quiet of the castle at rest. A final seam appears in the stone wall ahead, not glowing this time, not dramatic. It opens just enough to reveal the great hall beyond, empty now, its long tables resting in darkness, its ceiling reflecting a sky full of slow-moving stars. The passage waits, giving them time to cross. They step through together, and the stone closes behind them without a sound, leaving no trace of where it had been. The great hall feels unchanged, and yet profoundly different. Harry stands still for a moment, letting the vastness of the space settle around him. The air here feels lighter, kinder, or perhaps it is simply that he notices it now. Hermione glances back at the wall where the passage disappeared, then turns away without regret. "It'll still be there," she says quietly, "when it's needed." Ron nods. "And when it's not, that's fine too." They begin walking toward the doors, their footsteps echoing softly across the stone floor. The night has deepened, and the castle feels wrapped in a kind of protective hush. As they reach the threshold, Harry pauses, looking once more at the hall, not searching for hidden seams or secret doors, but appreciating it as it is, a place of noise and celebration by day, and of quiet belonging by night. The journey beneath the great hall does not demand remembrance. It does not insist on retelling. It has done what it was meant to do. Harry feels calm settle fully within him, steady and unshaken. Whatever awaits tomorrow, lessons, challenges, expectations, he carries something new with him now. Not knowledge, not power, but reassurance. They leave the hall together, the doors closing softly behind them. and beneath the stone floor, unseen and content, the forgotten passage rests once more, its purpose fulfilled, its presence gentle, holding the quiet magic of the castle in patient, peaceful silence. The castle settles into sleep as they walk away, its ancient stones breathing softly in the quiet of the night. Somewhere above, the stars drift slowly across the enchanted ceiling, unhurried, as though they too understand there is no need to rush what feels complete. Harry moves through the corridors with an ease he rarely notices in himself. His steps are light, his thoughts untroubled. The world does not feel smaller, but it feels kinder, more manageable, as though Hogwarts has gently reminded him that rest is part of belonging. Hermione walks beside him, calm and thoughtful, her curiosity no longer searching for answers, but content to simply exist within the moment. Ron's quiet presence brings a steady warmth, familiar and reassuring, like laughter remembered even after it fades. They part ways without ceremony, without the need for words that might disturb the peace they carry. Doors close softly. Footsteps disappear into distance. The castle holds them all with the same gentle care. As you listen, imagine yourself there too, walking those quiet corridors, wrapped in the warmth of stone and starlight. There is nothing you need to solve tonight, nothing you need to uncover or protect. The magic around you is calm, steady, and patient. Hogwarts is a place that understands rest. Beneath its grand halls and shifting staircases, beneath its lessons and legends, there are spaces meant only for stillness. Spaces that ask nothing of you except to breathe, to feel safe, to be exactly as you are. Let the quiet settle now. Let the echoes of the castle soften into comfort. The unseen passage beneath the great hall rests again, content and whole, holding its gentle memories without asking to be remembered. And as the night deepens, allow your thoughts to slow, your breathing to steady, your body to relax into the peace of this moment. You are not lost. You are not alone. You are held by warmth, by calm, by a world that knows how to keep watch while you rest. Sleep comes easily here, and when you drift into it, know that Hogwarts remains silent, steady, and kind, waiting patiently, dreaming quietly until the morning light returns.